tired of being the one everyone disrespects? What if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? Let's get one thing straight. Handling disrespect isn't just some soft skill you might want to pick up along the way. If you don't master it, you're not just leaving your dignity at the door. You're inviting people to wipe their feet on you like you're some kind of welcome mat. Disrespect is everywhere, lurking in the sneers, the passive-aggressive comments, the so-called jokes that aim to tear you down. And if you're not prepared to deal with it, you might as well give up on any hope of holding your ground in life. In this video, we're going to dig into each of these power plays so you walk away from this with the tools to dominate any situation where disrespect rears its ugly head. Let's get into it. Handling disrespect, a non-negotiable skill. Do you often let disrespect from others shake you up, leaving you frozen and unsure of what to do? Or are you ready to stand your ground, showing that you're not someone to be taken lightly? You're not here to lose your cool like an amateur. You're here to calmly and strategically handle any disrespect that comes your way, leaving the other person questioning their actions. Your response to disrespect shapes the entire situation. To do that effectively, you need to understand exactly what you're dealing with. The anatomy of disrespect. Know your enemy. Let's break down the psychology of those who thrive on public disrespect. These people aren't just having a bad day. They're opportunistic predators. They feed off the insecurities of others, boosting their fragile egos by making someone else feel small. But let's call it what it is. Cowardice dressed up as bravado. They're not strong. They're scared. They're terrified that without these cheap tactics, they'll be exposed for the insecure, small-minded individuals they really are. These predators often strike when they're in groups because that's where they feel the safest. Ever notice how bullies love an audience? It's not just about dominance. It's about using the crowd to amplify their attacks. Alone, they're nothing, but throw in a few like-minded followers and suddenly they feel invincible. This is why understanding group dynamics is crucial. You need to recognize when the pack is circling, and you need to be ready to cut the head off the snake before they get a chance to strike. Cultivate self-respect, your bulletproof vest. Now, how do you defend against these attacks? You start with the most critical piece of armor, self-respect. This isn't some fluffy self-help nonsense. This is the foundation of your defense strategy. When you have an unshakable sense of self-worth, the cheap shots just bounce off you. They can't penetrate the armor of someone who knows exactly who they are and what they're worth. Your self-respect acts as a barrier against their attempts to belittle you. And trust me, they'll know it the moment they try. When you walk into any situation with your self-respect intact, you're untouchable. The insecure vultures that prey on the weak can sense it, and they'll think twice before coming after you. But what happens if it's gonna be your first interaction? A new job, a new class, whatever. You don't know what to expect. And there is a crucial element to keep in mind for such delightful occasions. Mastering the first impression. Own the room. Like it or not, first impressions, they're everything. From the second you step into a room, people are sizing you up, and you better believe they're making decisions about you before you even say a word. Scientifically, it takes just a fraction of a minute, about 7 to 10 seconds, for someone to form a first impression when meeting new people. Some studies even suggest that people begin making judgments within the first 100 milliseconds based on facial appearance alone. These initial impressions are often based on factors like body language, tone of voice, and overall appearance. While these judgments are made rapidly, they can be quite enduring and difficult to change afterwards. So how do you make sure they know you're not to be trifled with? Stand up straight. Don't hunch like you're apologizing for taking up space. You belong there. Act like it. Maintain eye contact, and not in some creepy, overbearing way, but in a way that says, I see you, and you're going to see me. Eye contact is your first line of defense. It's the silent signal that you're confident, composed, and ready for whatever comes your way. Remember though, your body language needs to back that up. If you cross your arms, slouch, or fidget, you might as well be waving a white flag. On the other hand, open gestures, relaxed posture, these aren't just habits, they're weapons. They tell everyone around you that you're in control. And when people see that you're comfortable in your own skin, they'll treat you with the respect you deserve. However, there will always be a scum who thinks he has an upper hand. Handling interruptions, reclaiming control. So let's talk about the lowlifes who think it's okay to interrupt you. In any conversation, interruptions aren't just rude, they're a challenge. Someone is testing your authority, seeing if they can bulldoze over you. So how do you respond? Not by raising your voice, not by getting flustered. No, you lock eyes with them and you don't break that gaze. It's the oldest power move in the book, and it works for a reason. When you're interrupted, you never just let it slide. That is weak. You calmly assert yourself. Something like, "I'm not finished yet," or "Hold on, I'm getting to that," will do the trick. However, avoid saying "sorry" before continuing, as it can once again suggest weakness. It's not about being nice, it's about being firm. You're not asking for permission to continue. You're stating a fact that the conversation isn't over until you say it is. By keeping your composure and maintaining that steady gaze, you reinforce your position as someone who's not easily dismissed. You are the one in control, and they're just going to have to deal with that. Humiliating jokes, shutting them down. These types of people were always my favorites. Dealing with them is annoying, but they're as transparent as a wet white t-shirt. So let's address the so-called jokes that are really just thinly veiled insults. This is where things can get tricky because the person delivering the joke often hides behind the excuse of humor. But let's call it what it is: a weak attempt to cut you down without facing the consequences. So how do you handle it? One effective move is to pretend you didn't even hear it. Don't give them the reaction they're fishing for. By ignoring the joke, you strip it of its power. The punchline falls flat, and suddenly they're the ones left hanging. But if you really want to put them on the spot, ask them to repeat it. "Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch it." Now they're forced to say their insult again, and this time it's going to sound a lot less funny. You've shifted the power dynamic. They're no longer the clever joker. They're just someone who's being a pointless bitch, and everyone around you will see it too. You're basically making it clear that their little game isn't going to fly. However, it can happen occasionally that some people with high blood pressure may become more prone to aggression. Beautiful, right? There's nothing funnier than an enraged joker. Which brings us to the next piece of advice: the Thomas Shelby method. When things start to heat up and you can feel a confrontation brewing, take a page out of Thomas Shelby's playbook. We all know this character, so why not learn something from him? First of all, don't get dragged into the muck. Steer the conversation in a different direction. It's not about dodging the issue, it's about controlling the narrative. You redirect with finesse, not desperation. When you see that things are about to go south, you casually introduce a new topic, or better yet, throw in an unexpected comment that throws everyone off balance. It could be something humorous, or it could be something completely unrelated. What matters is that it shifts the focus away from the impending conflict. The key is to do it naturally, without a hint of hesitation. You're not changing the subject because you're scared. You're doing it because you're the one guiding the conversation. Remember, this tactic isn't just about avoiding confrontation. It's about maintaining control of the situation on your terms. However, sometimes things can still get out of hand. There is always some stubborn, disrespectful bastard out there with whom arguing is pointless, even when your arguments are rock solid. So, what do you do then? The ultimate power move. Finally, we need to talk about knowing when to walk away. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is with your absence. If you're in an environment where you're not being treated with the respect you deserve, get out. It's as simple as that. You don't owe anyone an explanation, and you certainly don't owe them your time. Walking away isn't weakness in this regard. It's strength. It's the ultimate assertion of self-respect. However, there is a difference between walking away and running with your tail between legs. You're telling everyone that your standards are non-negotiable, and you're not going to stick around in a place that doesn't meet them. When you remove yourself from a toxic situation, you're not running away. You're standing up for yourself in the most powerful way possible. And believe me, people will notice. They'll remember that when things got ugly, you didn't lower yourself to their level. You simply left. That's a message that sticks, and it's one that will follow you long after you've left the room. The power is in your hands. Now that you've got the tools, it's time to rise. Stop letting disrespect slide. Stop allowing others to dictate your worth. But don't just take my word for it. Apply these techniques in your life and watch how the dynamics around you change. People will notice and start treating you with the respect you deserve because they'll realize they don't have a choice. Take everything you've learned here and wield it like the weapon it is. When you walk into a room, own it. When someone challenges you, shut it down. And when a situation turns toxic, don't hesitate. Leave it behind. You're not here to be anyone's punching bag. You're here to command respect, to set the standard for how you're treated, and to never settle for less. So, rise up, take control, and let the world know exactly who they're dealing with. This is your moment. Claim it.